This is Steve Harris from Iron Maiden and British Lion, and you're watching Loudwire.
So let's go into British Lion and what you're doing on the bass to maybe distinguish yourself from what you've done already with Maiden. What are some new techniques or some new styles that you incorporated into this that maybe you don't feel comfortable doing with Maiden?
It's not that. I tried a few things on the first album because it was a new, well, it wasn't new at the time, but a couple of the songs, a few of the songs were new, but it was a different thing for me to be doing at the time. So I tried a few different bass sounds, I tried a few different techniques, whatever, and I'm not sure the sounds really work. So now this album is really more how I sound, and I feel much more comfortable.
So one thing that's really cool here is you get to play with a drummer who uses double kicks. So what does that open up for you as a bass player with a drummer who's doing double kicks? Because I know Nico's only done it on
usually you have to play
songs.
less because you can't, otherwise it just it becomes a mess. So you've actually got to work out that's going to not play against him, play with him. Mm-hmm. That's what I find. Otherwise it just becomes a battle and it's not so good. But yeah, I mean, Nico's way he plays with a single is just like everyone else's double
like a
anyway.
Double kick anyway.
Yeah.
Now, writing lyrics for Richard Taylor, I'm assuming is a bit of a different experience with Bruce. Sometimes I swear I think you're trying to kill Bruce, like the red and the black. What is it like trying to write with a different singer and somebody who's got a different kind of range?
You know, had a little bit of a word here and there sometimes because, I mean, I'm not a singer and it's obvious I'm not a singer, but. I don't profess to be one either, but when I'm writing melodies, I write melodies and then I put the words to the melodies and then he has to sing them. I do actually go to him and say, look, you were right with this key and stuff like that, and he usually goes, oh yeah, it's fine and everything like that, but he can sing up there with a lot, you know, with sounds only dogs can hear, but it's a bit different with British Lion. You know, it's not just because of like, where the range is or anything like that, it's just the songs are structured a little different anyway. So, I mean, you could throw anything at Bruce. I could throw most things actually at Richie Taylor. He can get up to right up there with the notes as well, but it's not his style. So, you just do what feels right for whatever singer you're working with, I think, wherever possible.
Is it a bit of a relief to just kind of write a little bit more of those straight ahead rock songs instead of trying to work in all these challenging twists and turns and emotions and peaks and valleys?
Well, for some unknown reason over the last few years I've been finding it a little difficult to actually keep songs short. They always end up being long.
I think a few people have
working
noticed.
with the British Lion guys, you know, they rein things in, and also the way the songs are structured, they sort of don't need the big long parts really. So. Yeah, but if I go off on my own and write something, then quite often it ends up being, I don't know, 7 or 8 different ideas in one thing.
The lyrics on this album are a little bit more despondent, but they're peppered with rays of sunshine and some hope. So what are you still learning about the world and what it has to offer this far into your career?
Well, I think a lot of that is influenced by Richie Taylor, the singer, and his upbringing, because he was an orphan and he was, you know, brought up and then adopted and stuff like that. So a lot of those things come from being an outsider coming in, and I think we've all felt that at some times where we've been outside of things or whatever. Or there's a song on there which, you know, Land of the Perfect People, which you don't belong kind of thing. And I think everyone's had an element of that throughout their lives where they've felt like they've been shoved away from something or whatever. I think lots of people can relate to that, so me included. So. Yeah, there's a element of that going on, you know, throughout the songs.
So, what gives you hope in the world today? What are you seeing that makes you feel really good about the future?
Well, my kids for one, because obviously, you know, I see them coming up and doing stuff and getting excited about, you know, what they're doing, and yeah, ain't got any grandchildren yet, but maybe one day.
Hopefully,
but yeah, I mean, they're the future, and so that's, you know, I'm getting towards the end of my tether, and. So it's all about them, really.
Mm. Now, do you see British Lion as a little bit of an escape from the magnitude of Iron Maiden? It's got to be a nice little sigh of relief of, oh, I don't have to do all this. I could just go out and play.
Actually, it's the opposite, because I do way more for British Lion, because I end up booking hotels and doing it pretty much, and we don't even have a tour manager. I tend to do everything. So just to try and keep the cost down, and also because it's not a control thing, but it's just because I've been there and done all those things and I know how to do them. So it takes 3 times as long for me to get someone else to do it. So they're quite happy for me to do it. They're not really interested in doing all that stuff. But so there's actually a lot more from that respect. But when it's coming down to playing to small clubs and, you know, being right in your face talk with the audience, it's just brilliant. You know, I love it. And, you know, I suppose I have missed that side of Maiden. And Maiden's fantastic, don't get me wrong. I go and play in thousands of people. It's incredible. It really is. And sometimes you have to pinch yourself to think, wow, is this real? But on the other hand, bring you back down to earth, go and play small clubs with British Line, you know, down to earth type of stuff.
Now, have you gained any new perspective on Iron Maiden, having gone back to these clubs and played at that level, or just realizing how most of the bands in the world do it?
Well, it's amazing, really. Yeah, I mean, to think that we're swanning about in a private airplane and all this business, and I think, wow, you know, feel like I'm in Led Zeppelin or something at times. But then, as I say, on the other side of it, it's nice to go back to British Line and keep yourself grounded so that things don't run away and you start, you know, becoming some sort of egomaniac or something like that.